Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep. Namaste. Jambo. Ashe. Shalom. Duanter. Hotep. Did I say Hotep already? Jambo. All the greetings of love and light to the darkest minds of the light and to the wonderful, beautiful people who decided to come over and join us for the Sip Down. Yes, we have another episode of the Sip Down, and just like before, it's going to be a beautiful guest, a wonderful vibing, good vibing. If I'm skipping a little, I notice I am. To my mods, can you just let me know if you hear me not coming in clear? Anyway, this is live, so technical difficulties are a reality, but we keep it moving. I want to say welcome to my beautiful co-hosts before we bring in our beautiful guest. So let's start with, by the way, I am NapahShadah. I like this little handy sippy cup. If y'all see me, you've been seeing me use this lately. I like it. And I am sipping on, this is a Long Island iced tea, so I might turn up tonight, I'm laughing. No, yeah, actually, this is a light version. So that's what I'm having tonight. Let's see. I will go to Robin. Freedom. Tell us what you're sipping on. Introduce yourself.
I'm Freedom, revolutionist always. I'm sipping on some ginger tea with some lemon and honey and a little bit of brandy.
Oh, good. Sounds spicy. There's Dulcinea. She made it. All right. The beautiful Dulcinea. Since I just let you in, Dulcinea. Hello. Introduce yourself. Let us know what you're sipping on.
I'm Dulcinea. Hello, everybody. Shalom. And tonight I'm actually drinking rum berry punch. So it has like a little rum, ginger ale, some sparkling wine. So it should be interesting tonight.
Yeah, I think we're all having a little little spike to the spirit on our drinks. Let's see what Naftali's sipping on.
Oh, I hate to sound boring. Just drinking a ginger berry kombucha.
Oh, that's not boring. That's delicious.
Yeah, it really
sounds so good.
Maybe your husband will sneak by and just pour a little brandy in later on. No,
I need something, right? I need something.
No, you don't. If you think you need it, then you better go get it. No, but that sounds good. I love kombucha. And last but not least, in motion.
Yes. Hello. So I am sipping on some coconut water, but because last week I promised I have my 3 olive martini with some blue cheese olives in there.
So, okay. Wow. That's what kind of night it's going to be. Now, without further ado, I want to let you know we have one of the most, for me, this is one of the most motivational, beautiful, humble sisters that I'm inspired by. I love her energy. She is, like I said on the promotion. I feel like I'm skipping. Am I skipping?
Yes.
I think
I am, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Let me slow down. Maybe it's because I'm so excited and I'm affecting it like, what was that movie called? Powder? I'm affecting the energy. Anyway, let me calm down. Okay. I'm excited because I want y'all to meet the sister if you haven't met her already. Nakia Walker, she is every woman. She's so many things. She's a manager. She actually managed DMX, the late great DMX, rest in power, up until his demise, his transition, I should say. I shouldn't say demise. It was so painful for us that it was a loss. But she's a very dear friend of his. She is a manager of very many amazing, talented people, including her beautiful daughter, which we're going to get some information before I let her go. Hopefully we can get a little sneak peek on her daughter's work. She's got a new vision that she's actually manifested into reality here in Phoenix called The Office. She'll let us know all about it. She's an author of 2 books. One was formerly named Bitch Get to Work, but she being the the communicator and the type of woman she is. She said, "Let me change the title to Motivation to Move," because she wants to appeal to all audiences, not just the reels. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
So, and she also has another book called "Release Me: 4 Steps to Sexy," I think it is. She'll correct me if I'm wrong. So let's bring on the beautiful Nakia Walker. And I don't have a soundboard right now, so let's give her a real hand, a real round of applause. Thank you, beautiful Nakia Walker. How are you, sis?
I am blessed and highly favored. Thanks for asking. How are you? How are you ladies doing?
I'm excited.
Wow,
Me
thank
too.
you.
Nice to meet
I'm honored. I'm honored. Like, this is an honor to be able to sit in a room and share a space with 5 other beautiful Black women. Like, this is, I'm a little intimidated. Like, what are my sisters about to ask me? They about to put me on the spot. There's so much power,
Never,
right?
because you can't be on the spot because you are you stand on your square. Now, I saw you just take a sip from your cup, so I was just going to ask you, what are you sipping on tonight while we get ready to vibe?
I will tell you, I was getting ready to put together a little echinacea tea with some elderberry and some ginger, and I was like, nah, that's too boring. I'm getting ready to go on this show. I'm going to talk to these ladies. I want to keep it real. Let me give me some Get Real Gomo juice. So this is a concoction I put together with some fancy whiskey a male friend gave to me that I wanted to try. There's almond milk because I like it, a little creamy.
Yummy.
Pineapple juice and a splash of lemon. Don't ask me. It's just Gomo juice. I don't know. But it
Oh,
tastes.
I like it. Did you make the name up, Gomo, or is it just called that?
No. It's something we used to use in Detroit for years. I was born and raised in Detroit. Anything that gets you going is like Gomo juice.
Okay. Detroit. Now let's talk about you. How far you want to go back, Nakia? You want to go all the way back?
Do whatever you want to do. Have your way with me. Let's go. What do you want to know?
Oh, I like that. Okay. So Nakia, tell us about Detroit. That's where you were born and raised, right?
Yes. So
okay.
Born and raised in the mid 70s. Born to some very wild parents. My father was the leader of a gang, so much of a leader that Mayor Coleman Young would call him to calm the streets, and so much of a gangbanger that I could not be recognized as his daughter because it was too dangerous. So my father is the legendary Frank Nitti of Detroit, Michigan. So that was my dad, and my mom was a party girl. So back in the 70s, you probably know what that means, what she was doing, hanging out with her friends, partying, drinking, drugging, doing what they do. So I was really pretty much raised by my grandmother, aunts, different family members. Growing up in Detroit was rough. It was rough.
Well, when you say it was rough, when you were raised by your grandmother, did you have a sheltered life with grandma? Even though your mom and dad had that wild life, did you get sheltered, or was it, talk to us? Were you protected, or were you out there?
No, I was not sheltered. I don't think I got out there until I was like maybe 15 years old. My mother took me to one of her boyfriend's houses because she was just mad at my grandma. I was like, I'm just gonna rip you away for a minute, and took me away and took me to these strange people's houses where she was in love with this guy, and I met a young girl there who was my same age, and she introduced me to like the streets, like to boys and D-boys, and
what are D-boys?
Like,
tell us what D-boys are. What are D-boys?
Dope boys.
Oh, am I the only one that didn't know that?
I don't know, but that's what they call it in Detroit. And so
I thought it meant Detroit boys or something.
No. Yeah. So at that point, my life took a major shift because I started to see more,
Yeah.
But I was always a great student, straight A student, did well in school, but I didn't have the parental push, or the parental guidance to really, really push me where I thought I could be. But I mean, I didn't live a horrible life, but it was rough. It was rough.
Would you say that that's the typical looking at experiencing life and seeing other people? Would you say that this is not uncommon for our people, or our men and our women, that kind of experience?
I won't say that it's common, but it definitely is. It's recognized. You know what I mean? Like, I had cousins that had 2 parents at home, life was great for them. You know, I had family members. My parental grandparents were married for my paternal grandparents were married for umpteen years. So I got a chance to see what that looked like. So I
Mhm.
did see other things. So I can't say that this was like a common thing, but it's just something that I went through, and I know a lot of other kids did too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but you say you were good in school.
Yeah.
So let's go to like that part. Did you go to college, or what did you do after high school?
Nothing. I was
Okay.
running around with boys, making all the wrong decisions. So actually, I was pregnant at 17.
Okay.
I had a baby at 18. I got married at 19. It was a horrible mistake.
Mm.
It was, I mean, I don't take it back today, but then it was a horrible experience for me. He was very controlling. He was abusive, but I felt like I didn't have anywhere to go. You know what I mean? This was
Right.
this person that loved me, that showed me love, that there was stability with us there. And so, yeah, that was that. And then I had 2 scholarships. I had one to Western Michigan University, and I had one to Tennessee State University. I had an academic scholarship, and I had a music scholarship, but I chose a different route. I had a baby. I didn't go to college, and I just made all the wrong decisions, you know, because I just didn't have any real influencers to motivate me, to celebrate me, to push me.
Mm.
However, I decided to go to school to be an EMT, to be an ambulance driver. I don't know
Mm.
why. Just something I was like, I'm going to do something. And at the time, my husband was going to the police academy.
Oh wow.
And so I don't know, maybe that was my motivation, so we could both,
Right.
you know, first
Right.
responders or something. I don't know, but I did that for a little while, and then AIDS got really big, and I'm like, I don't think I want to do this, and they don't pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me stop you right there and go back to the music part.
Yeah.
You said something about music, that you were offered a scholarship in music.
Yes.
Okay, talk to us about that, because I want to. We're gradually coming to where you are right now.
A little bit.
So, what about you and music and the entertainment side? Talk to us about your talents in that way.
So for music, so I used to be first year clarinet throughout middle school and high school.
Okay.
Played a little bit of the saxophone. Woodwind instruments were my thing. Played a little bit of the saxophone. And I begged my mother for this clarinet. I begged her. She was like, you better play it too. So I'd be in the basement practicing or whatever. And then I started to learn how to play it by ear. Got a scholarship again, didn't take advantage of it, but it was there. And so my love for music just changed. Like I would always listen to my Anita Baker 8 tracks. And back then they had this club, this Columbia Records Club, and you can buy music tapes and records for like 99
for a penny. I know about that.
You guys remember the Penny Music Club? So
they don't remember. They're too young.
So I used to order all my music and lay in my grandmother's living room and play the music on the hi-fi with the 8 track, and then, you know, the cassettes came out. So I would always sing Anita Baker, and I would just always be so in tune with music. So when I started taking music in school, I understood it a little bit better and different, because now I understood the compositional side of music, actually making music, the notes, the melody, the timing, beats, measures. And so that gave me a whole different perspective. And so I would listen to music differently. You know, now when I'm listening to the song, I can hear the melodies, the harmonies, the instruments, and my love for music just continued to grow after that. I didn't know it was going to get this far in, but
yeah, talk to us about that. You're so amazing. We're gonna have to do a part 2 and come back to the childhood. So talk to me about you and music. What are you doing right now?
What am I currently doing in music?
I'm saying, like, from skipping. Okay, so somehow you ended up not doing. Were you ever a performer?
You were doing. So in Detroit, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. I moved back to Detroit. I moved to Arizona in 1998, 99. Moved back to Detroit 2002. 2003, I met all these amazing people, and I pretty much turned my house into the new Motown Records. I was working with the DeBarge family. I had my own artists. It was like people just coming in and out. Chico DeBarge pulling up in Hummers, James DeBarge, like all these people showing up, and we're making this music. And so that started my intro into vocal production and writing music, and just watching, you know, just cultivating other people around me to be successful. That's how I began to learn how to manage as well. when I wasn't getting the results that I thought I should get from my talent, I decided to become an artist. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to show them that if you do A, B, and C, you can accomplish these things. And I did it, and it worked. It worked. This guy called me from this guy named Waggy T called me from this DJ pool in Florida. And he was like, yo, we got your song. We love it. Because I sent it out to all the DJ pools. I'm like, I'm going to show them that if they do the work, that this can happen. They need to trust the process. And he was like, we're going to blow this record up for you. Next thing you know, it's playing there in Florida. Then it's playing in Detroit. Then it's playing in Arizona. And it just became—
What was his name?
DJ Waggy T.
Okay.
I can't remember. Flamingo Record Pool. That was the name of it. Flamingo Record Pool.
Okay.
He gave me my first big break. And so my song just kind of took off on its own. And then, of course, I shift again and decide, you know what? I now have a different understanding now of the music business.
Awesome.
Trying to manage people, go out and be an artist. And I'm talking to all these people. Really, they're talking to me thinking they're speaking to a representative of me. And I'm learning so much. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to go back to management. So fast forward, left Detroit, came back to Arizona. And my daughter was 5 years old at the time. And she used to always say, Mom, I want to get on the mic. I want to get on the mic. I want to do it. So I'm like, are you sure? And then next thing you know, we have this little superstar, 5 years old, hits the stage for the very first time and blows everybody away.
Well, so, let's talk about your daughter. Now, is this by this time you were managing DMX? Because I know he's a big part of her life. Also, I interviewed her. Right.
Yeah,
so you were already
about 8, I think, when I started managing him. She was about 8, maybe 9. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Because I was wondering if he influenced her to become a rapper. She is outstanding.
She's amazing. So at that point, she was already doing her thing. However, she stopped rapping and performing around the age 14, 15 years old. She had a very tragic event happen in her life. And so she went on a hiatus and she came back when she was 21. And by that time, X had really been heavy in her life. And so he influenced her to, write from your heart, use the blood from your heart, the blood from your pain, the blood from the things that you experience. Use that as the ink to write your lyrics. And that's what she does. So she reminds me of him so much, so much.
He had a big influence on her from the way you talked to me at the memorial. It was a second.
It's like a second memorial that we did for him in Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to go back to you with your hit. You're going to leave us hanging and you're not going to tell us the name of your hit? Come on now. Yes, I know you do.
The name of the song was called Get Out. Okay. And I wrote the song at that time. I was dating my daughter's father. And we had just broke up. And it was just a record basically telling him how pissed off I was at him. Because it's so easy to write when you're really in your feelings, when you're upset or you're hurting. It's like easy to come up with stuff. So the record was Get Out. And it just told him, like, I'm tired of you. I'm tired of the way you're treating me. I'm tired of publicly being embarrassed. I'm over it. Get out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. So there's so many things I want to talk to you about. Okay, let me stay focused on, we're going to spend a little bit more time on the music and the career, but I want you to start talking. We're eventually going to get into relationships because you really, that conversation we had, it was so moving for me. Let me ask you a little bit more about the career. So when did you find out, okay, Chico DeBarge, James DeBarge, who else were you managing?
I wasn't managing them necessarily. We were just making music together. But oh my gosh. So I've worked with the DeBarges. I've worked with X. I've worked with Foxy Brown. I've worked with Soraya from Power. I'm sorry, not Power. The big, what's the new show they got? She was on Empire. Empire. Yeah. But she also played Big Meech's, the child of Big Meech's baby on the 50 Cent show. About the guys from Detroit. So, oh my God, I'm trying to think who else. I don't know. I don't know.
So how long have you been in the industry?
Oh my God, since about 2002.
2002.
Yep.
So how did you meet? Let's find out something that I'm sure a lot of people want to know. How did you meet the late great DMX, your dear brother?
So a mutual friend was managing him, and she came and asked me if I could help because She was like, you're more contractually and administratively sound. Can you like be my voice in the back to help me through contractual obligations, maybe sit in on meetings and things like that? And I'm like, sure, no problem. And so as that began to grow, X got wind of it like, wait a minute, you're the one in the background? Maybe you should be in the front. And so that's pretty much how it happened.
Yeah. What was he like when you met him? What was it? Was it instant chemistry? Because I know you were very close. What was he like?
I like to think so. The first meeting was at my home. My girlfriend at the time, when she was managing, she was like, hey, we want to have a gathering for Earl. He just came home from jail. We're going to go to church first. And then I want to know if you will cook and host this party at your house. So I'm like, sure, no problem. So he came to my house, and what's so crazy, girl, ladies, it was the day that I put my husband out. Go figure.
What? Oh,
so,
no.
Yeah, I was feeling really bad. Like, I was feeling really bad that day.
Wow.
And it was like a devastating situation that happened. And that same girlfriend that managed him came over like in the middle of the night with me and sat on the steps while I cried. I felt like I had lost like.
Wow.
And she sat there with me, and then was like, okay, we got to get ready for this event. So nonetheless, X came over. He had his little entourage, and they were all there, and it was loud and crazy, but everybody's having a good time. And I'm in the kitchen prepping for dinner. And he walks over and he says, who lives here with you? And I was like, oh, it's a long story. I said, I just put my husband out today. He was like, is he a fool? This is a beautiful house.
Wow.
You're cooking. You cooked all this food? And I said, yeah. And he ate the food, and he came back. He was like, wow, this was some good. Dude,
what you cook? What you cook?
I baked some lemon chicken. I made some mashed potatoes, and I think I might have made either some spinach or some asparagus or something with some rolls, but it wasn't even anything fancy. But I guess he just loved the flavor. He was impressed, I guess. But yeah, ever since that day, we just hit it off. We were tight ever since that day.
Well, you have an amazing energy. I'm going to keep on praising you until the end of time, and until you prove me otherwise. Because when I meet sisters who are like you, I really think it's important that we, give each other praise, because you have been through a lot of pain. You've been through a lot of pain. Even just listening to you right now, Nakia, like you said you went and did something for others, and you had a very traumatic moment in the same day, which is like, a relationship breakup, a husband putting your husband out. So you're just that you've got that energy. I think I never met DMX, but I think he noticed that from the way people talk about him. He was very spiritual, and he magnetizes to you, and I magnetize to you, because you're always upbeat, even though you've gone through a lot. And saying you've gone through a lot, there's so much to cover, so I want to make sure the ladies can come in. So I want to get all this out here as much as possible. Let me ask you, okay, what do you want to talk about first? Do you want to go into how you've overcome, the relationship thing? I'm giving it to you. Or do you want to talk about like the health issues, and then you realize, because I can just let you go and you can talk about all of that together, but I really want you to let people know who you are, to sit there with a smile on your face, to be beautiful, strong, still successful. You've almost lost your life. You've lost a lot of people, even if transitioning or, love lost.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start? I threw a lot at you. Now I'm gonna take a sip off my Long Island iced tea, and you just let us know.
Let's start at the beginning. We'll just start with the fact that everything that I've gone through, everything that I've experienced, if it's with my parents, if it was with a young relationship, a young husband, my daughter's father, whatever that is why I am who I am today. So all the health issues, everything, it was like every one incident led to another, but it was like you needed this one for that one. It's like it all just works together collectively. Mm-hmm. And I'm a firm believer that God has created me to be this superhero, right? This is what I walk around with in my mind. Like it's the goddess. There's a goddess that lives within me that God has instilled with all of these superpowers. And I've had them all my life, but I did not know. And so I had to endure all these things to get to this point so I can look back and be like, wow. So being abused at a young age, having a mother who was addicted to heroin and crack and, just doing her thing and living her life, having a father who wasn't there, and then moving on to, being in an abusive relationship, then being with a big dope boy, and then, having his baby, and, and then being a topless dancer, stripping to get away from the man that was beating you. You need to save your own money. You need to do it fast because you're terrified of him. And if you don't hurry up and make some money, he's going to kill you. And you need to figure out a way. And so I became a top.
That's how you felt.
Yeah, that was a fact. That was a fact. Like, I would have to ask this man to get up just to go have a glass of water, And so it was just not a good place. And may I add right now, and I'm not going to wish any ill will on a brother because I love him. That is my oldest son's father. But he's always been a great father. And we are best of friends to this day because I do believe in forgiveness. I'm a loving person. I do believe that people can change. We grew up. But so just going through all of those things and just God has just led me on the path to just try to find myself, and also not being afraid to not being fearful of stepping out on faith and just doing what I want to do, doing what God has put in my heart. So moving through all of those eras in my life and say, you know what, today I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to write a song and I'm going to put it out and I'm just going to see what happens. If it goes, great. You know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. I think I've learned enough now that I'm going to go manage some other people. I think I can steer the career of others. And I think I'm great at building relationships. This can work. So that worked. So then God said, you know what? I got a call from, I got remarried, and I got a call from a girlfriend of mine. And she was like, there's a school that needs you. I think you would be so great. At that time, I had a preschool in my home, in the back of my home. I started a daycare. I was pregnant. My husband was making all this money. It was like, you don't need to work, which, again, another bad idea. But nonetheless, I stopped working, did this preschool. So my girlfriend noticed what I was doing with the kids. And she was like, I think you would be great with our kids. They're at-risk youth. They're in high school. It's grades 9 through 12, but you can be 22 to go to the school to get your high school diploma. They want to meet you. I've already set it up. And I'm like, what? So I go to school. I've never been a teacher before. I don't even have a college degree. But see, this is how God moves. God will put you in places that you will never think that you will have the opportunity to be or deserve to be. And so I walked in there and they had me do this presentation on she kind of prepped me. We have 9 weeks to give these kids a voice. Our kids come from broken homes. We have kids whose parents are addicted to drugs. They're not eating some days. They're not motivated. Nobody's celebrating them. All the things that I have been through in my life, God has prepared me for this moment. And I'm like, I understand. I know what I need to do. I understand the assignment. So I do this presentation, and I will tell you, out of that came some amazing kids in 3 musical stage plays. The kids learn how to write their own songs. They learn how to write. They learn creative writing. They learn script writing. And we did 3 plays, and then they made me the director of performing arts for the district, which is great. And I was one of the highest paid teachers in the state of Arizona without a college degree, just because I was able to give those kids a voice. And I'm grateful for that moment. So at that moment, I'm thinking, this is the biggest thing I've ever done. This is crazy. This is exciting. I'm enjoying it. And then I meet a guy named DMX. And so I leave the school. Well, Earl Simmons, I never called him DMX. I leave the school and I start managing him. And then I'm thinking, wow, this is the biggest thing I've ever done. In every moment in my life, it felt like it was the biggest thing that I've ever done, right? As I sit here, the biggest thing that I've ever done is, or ever experienced, I should say, is God giving me the knowledge of self, him showing me who I am and what others see in me, because it's always been like, I can't see me, I can only be me, right? And everybody says, oh, you're so great, you're so amazing, you're doing this, you're doing that. But I'm still making all the wrong decisions for myself with relationships. And I'm still going down this path where there's no peace. Still, I have no peace. And I'm doing all these amazing things. And I'm like, God, if you could just show me a little bit of it, like show me a little bit of the path, like, God, if you could just share with me. And I do have this strong belief that God truly communicates with me. And so I woke up one day, I was 40 years old. I was in a relationship and I just left. I packed 2 weeks worth of clothes and I left. I was not happy. He was a great guy. I love him. I still love him to this day, but he was not for me. And I got up, I left. I went to Detroit and decided that I was going to get a job there, buy some real estate, move my kids back there, and I was going to run for city council. Like, I had these big plans, and my kids were like, "We hate it. We hate it here. It's cold." My daughter got robbed while we were there, so we ended up back in Arizona. And so, just a lot of back and forth with me trying to figure out, what are you going to do?
Right.
You so many talents, you've done so many things, you've been all over the place, you're doing everything. What are you going to do? Where am I going to land? So I started asking God to show me, like, where am I going to land? What do you want me to do? What is this all for? Which leads me to where I currently am today. I just finished a movie with my daughter. It's called the Taria Jeanne Lewis. It's called Love Don't Love, the Taria Jeanne Lewis story. And that story, she's 24 today. She's amazing. She's an amazing talent. She dances. She does choreography. She raps. She sings. Yeah. She's an amazing actress. This girl learns the script. Her agent is like, "Why isn't she working? I need her working." Like,
she's amazing.
She's an amazing talent. It's
you got to get her on here.
Yeah, she motivates me, and I admire her. And so we have this movie that just talks about the things that she went through in her life. Between the ages of 5 and 12, a first cousin of mine, a relative, raped and beat her, starting at 5 years old. And
I'm sorry.
I didn't find out until she was 18, and it was devastating. And I'm able to talk about it a little bit now. I won't get too much into it because it's very
painful.
We all struggle from PTSD, like literally, it's difficult. And so the movie talks about it, but we don't dive into the facts, like the details, because it would be too painful for her to watch. She's not ready for that, but she did want her story to get out there. And so her movie is a story of perseverance, to say that if you put your mind to it, if you believe in yourself, if you trust God, you can be where you want to be, right? And so we did this movie, and it just showcases all of her talents, all of them. And when we talk about her transition from being baby T, her trauma that she experienced, and then how she moved on to what we call her now as Tato Baby. And so the movie just introduces us to her whole life, and it's amazing. And so we just finished that, and so we're talking to a couple networks about that. So that's exciting. And then one of the biggest things I've ever done, I'm doing it now. I'm opening a country club, if you will.
Oh, yes.
Terms. I'm opening a country club called the R.I.S.E. However, it is the host. The office is the host and the home for my 501c7 association called Education, Arts, and Entertainment Association.
And that's here in Phoenix.
That's here in Phoenix. That's where I'm starting, but I'm hoping to get global. I'm going to work to get global.
Okay.
So essentially, it's a space for us, a private space. If you know what a country club is, it is a private social club for people that are interested in golf, tennis, and recreational sports. But you can wine and dine and meet and socialize. So this place is for people, education, arts, and entertainment, because those are all the fields that are in my heart and the things that I've done throughout my life. And so I wanted to create a space where we can do the things that we love. If you want to come on there and host your show, you can use the space to host your show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm coming in. Yeah. I'm going to go in there and just like, okay, what do we need to do here?
You're going to love it.
I was excited when you talked about it, just the vision. How long did you have? Talk to us how long you had that vision and what trials and tribulations you went through. And ladies, if you have any questions, you want to jump in, make a comment. These are the most polite, beautiful.
Yeah, jump in, ladies. I'm not afraid for you to cut me off or jump in. Just cut me off and say, hey, and I'll stop.
She talks like me.
Just cut me off. But
that's the Gemini in us. Just cut us off. We don't care.
I'm 48 years old. I have a lot to share. I had a lot going on in my life.
Yes.
So the office is like, it's so neat. I love it. So it's a loungy feel. We're doing our soft opening on October 15th. I'm really excited. We're going to have a saxophone player.
I will be there.
Yes, ma'am. I'm looking for a piano player. I have a singer that's going to be there. And I'm just inviting individuals that I think that I believe would make great members, because in order to partake in the things, you have to become a member, and it's tiered. The memberships are tiered based on your willingness to want to use the facility to showcase and express the things that you do personally as a business. or as an individual. So that's the office. I'll be sending out invites. I mean, you know, all the things that I've had this building for a year, and it's been very tough. But again, I prayed about it. I'm like, God, if this is meant for me, this is what I want to do. So I do work. I currently work for a law firm during the day. And I like working for the law firm because it's extremely lucrative. However, I have prayed and asked God to bless me so I can live from my own ventures. I cannot just maintain, but I can have some strong sustainability.
Of course, yes.
To live from my own ventures. And so the only way to do that is to do the work to get it done. And God has given me the vision of this place. Like, I believe that God does not give you the vision without giving you the provision. God will not give you a vision when I let you see something that you can accomplish without giving you the tools to accomplish it. I just don't believe in that. And so I remain steadfast. I remain prayerful. I just remain strong in my faith. And there has been days when I couldn't even pay my rent, honey. And I paid that bill. I paid that rent at that office because I have too much invested in this vision. Is so big. And I just prayed like, God, okay, I'm trusting you. I've done some things in my life to make me to where, you know, you brought this to me because I believe that if I'm meditating, God is talking to me. So when I'm meditating, you're talking to me.
Yes.
I'm hearing and I'm listening. You're telling me that I need to leave these men alone because men were my drug. I would get with these men and they would bring me down and they would ruin my life. And I would be so caught up into them and helping them and trying to be this queen for them and be this and be that, when I had to realize you can't be shit for nobody if you ain't shit for yourself. And so that's what I need to do for me. I need to check myself and say, you know what? I'm abstaining from sex. I'm abstaining from relationships, period. I need to focus on being a better me because I believe not only can you attract what you are, but you can attract what you become if you're working towards those goals. And so that's my thing. Like, you know what? I don't want to date. And it was a little scary at first because I'm like, dang, like, nobody want to take me to dinner. I don't want to do it. And I've got offers and I'm like, I turn them down and I don't feel bad about it because I'm so wrapped up in my vision, this vision that God has gave me, that I'm being obedient because God has been blessing me. Those days when I couldn't pay my rent and I walked down to the office to the manager and said, I don't have it. And he goes, well, and I'm crying because I'm like, God, am I going to have to move in this building? So I'm telling my 16-year-old son, we may have to live in the building until we figure this out because I'm not letting that go because I believe in it. And I hope you believe in me like I believe in you guys. And he was with it. He's down to do whatever. I mean, he want to do whatever his mama want to do. And so I went down to the office and the manager said, look behind you. And I turned around. He says, what do you see? I said, the sky. He said, no, you see the sun. That is God telling you that it's going to be okay, girl. It's Friday. Go enjoy your weekend. We are not putting you out. We'll talk about this on Monday. Have a good weekend.
Oh, wow.
Are you still writing? Are you still writing?
Am I still writing music or writing
music?
Yes and no. If the opportunity presents itself, I will. Like, I'll help my kids sometimes, but I've pretty much given that to them. If they call me in to help out or someone specifically reaches out to me, I will, but not for myself, no.
Are you still managing?
I am managing my daughter currently. And I do manage another artist named Money Don Red. He's a Jamaican hip hop, a Jamaican trap artist, if you will. So I'm just working with those two, but more often I'm working with my daughter. Yeah.
I'm also into entertainment.
Okay.
Myself, I had 3 records out before myself.
Oh.
And I was with Gamble and Huff in Philadelphia.
Okay.
My first managers were Mimi and Cutmaster Butter.
I like that.
105 radio station in Philadelphia.
What were you doing? What kind of music were you doing?
R&B. I write and I sing. And right now, currently, I'm going to be helping Clarence Bryce Binky. Mm-hmm. He writes for like Melba Moore and everybody. He's in the studio now with my daughter. My daughter sang with everybody.
Oh wow! How old is your daughter?
She can sing.
How old is your daughter?
She don't want me to give her age. I
guess I'm just trying to figure out. She's been doing this a long time.
She's young. She's a young woman.
Yeah, she's young. Okay. And she, I had a group once called Baby Dolls with my daughter and 2 other girls. They were signed with Sony Records.
Wow.
Yeah, I've sung with Jean Carm, Phyllis Hyman. I backed her up on her last album that just before she transcended.
Yeah.
Yes, I wrote with Bunny Stigler, And Weldon McDougal, that name familiar to you?
No,
Or-
you've done a lot.
Yeah.
And Robin's done a lot. She's still doing it.
No
Yeah.
wonder they
Still
call you.
singing.
I love my music. So I
She's freedom, yeah.
not really out there like that, but I'm thinking I'm going back in.
I wasn't really out there like that.
Huh?
I wasn't really out there like that. Some people might think so, but I beg to differ.
No, not out there like that. I'm saying
Come out with the music. I know what you're saying. I'm saying what
like
you're saying.
now,
Like
I'm not. No, I get out there. I go when I'm into my music. I go and stay wherever and everything.
Yeah,
I really love music.
me too. Me too.
My brother Leandre Prince, he actually is doing a movie right now. He wrote many books. Bloody Money 1, Bloody Money 2.
Those are the books?
Yeah. The Girls and Me. He wrote many books, and he's right now doing a play here in Delaware. He's actually doing interviews for the play right now.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. So I know the feeling of coming up in the music industry.
Yeah. It's it's so crazy because I was talking to a girlfriend this morning on the phone, and she was like, I was watching some with DMX and I thought about you and blah blah blah. And
he was my favorite rapper.
Mine too.
Him and Tupac. Those two.
Yep. And I like Biggie too. I gotta say Biggie, Nas. I don't know. I got a few, but I'm a err on the side of Earl because that was my bestie. So
my girls opened up for Ja Rule. Is that his name? Ja Rule.
Yeah. Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? When did you stop working with DMX? When he died? When he passed away?
No. When did I start?
Stop.
So I stopped working with Earl. 2000.
She gonna call his name.
Yeah, I never call him DMX. I always call him Earl. Oh my God, I want to say 2019. We actually stopped working together. But I started working him in 2009, but we were off and on. Then I left in 2011. Then I came back in 2014. But our friendship was always there. But he would call me back like, I need you here to work with me because you love me, you know me, I love you, I know you. Yeah. This is supposed to happen. But our relationship was really toxic. We were like really good friends, but we had an issue with him wanting to check me and me wanting to check him about things. And now that he's passed away, I can honestly say like, damn, I should listen, and I wish he had listened to me. He was that one person in my life that would tell you about yourself. Wow. You know what I mean? And it's like, you need that one person to like check you like, oh, I don't know what you're thinking, but this is what it is. You know what I mean? And so I was the same thing for him. And so we loved that about each other, but we didn't like that about each other at the same time. And so we fought about it. Like my drug of choice was men. And he hated that. Like, not that I just had to be with a man or I was with a different man. And that's what I'm not saying that. He didn't like the relationships that I was in because he felt like I deserved more. And he was
what kind of men were you choosing, you think, looking back on it? What didn't he like? Because I just want you to maybe remember the story you told me where he was like, why did you bring this guy to the birthday party? So,
I'm going to tell you, that guy is watching too. He's watching right now.
Oh,
so it's the truth. So it's okay. I'll tell it. He and I tell this story all the time. Like he tells it, I tell it. We're not together anymore, but we're still friends. And it took a minute for us to get here. But he's watching.
So what didn't he like about him?
Well, he told him he was a street guy. He was like, you're a street guy. You're like me. If I can, you don't get to have her. She is like, I love her. You don't love her. Right. So get away from her. But he was like that with everybody. Just very controlling and wanting to protective and controlling, wanting to control your relationships for many reasons, which I do understand, right? You're dealing with someone with that high level of success, it's like, I want to be cautious even who my manager's around. Like, I get it, but come on, I should be able to have a personal life. So he was there with me, and I was like, you need to always stay clean. You need to take care of yourself. You need to not be around these people. So we were like that with each other. And it was crazy. And so that caused us to be off and on a lot. But we realized like, this is one of the realest people in my life. This is one of the realest people. And so we would always come back together. Yeah. So.
I want to ask you a question, Nakia. And it's a personal question, but we've been getting personal. And I think you can handle the question because I think people probably have wondered this or asked you this. When I hear you talk, I think you're Yeah, sip it up. Get a sip. Get ready. So, I mean, you are an amazing woman, beautiful sister. You're very, and I know you're traditional in the sense where you want a man to settle down with. Why didn't you ever, consider Earl? Don't make that like ew my brother. You're making that ew my brother face. But he was a great man. He's a great guy.
Too.
Why am I the only one who's asking this question?
Mm-mm.
No, I want to know too.
Oh, y'all trying to get to it.
You can answer the way you want. We'll accept any answer, but I just want to know for the audience too.
Too short for you.
Okay, so Earl's not here to defend himself.
Mm-hmm.
So
Of course not.
I
But
don't
we
really want
respect
to talk
him.
about what he said because he's not here to say whether he said it or not. So I'm going to speak just from my perspective, my point. Okay.
Yes.
So we were very we had a very strong sense of love for each other. We did.
Yes, I know.
Everyone around us knew it. They could see it. It was obvious. But the love was never strong enough for us to be in a relationship or share a bed or nothing like that. It was never
getting married.
It was never that. No. And there were several reasons why. He told me his reason why, and I won't share it because again, he's not here.
You don't have to.
But my reason why is because, and I told him this, that I will not date a man who is addicted to drugs. I will not do that.
I see. I understand.
I love you. I can be your sister all day. I can help to get you to places. I can do, we can grow in a lot of areas, but that will not be one.
Right. And that's the painful part.
That is a hard situation to deal with.
It's very painful because no, he's not here, and
he's not here. I'm feeling a little hurt, so I can't imagine how you feel right now.
It's very painful, and the fact that I love the young lady that he was engaged to. I love her. She loved him, so I love her. So there was just a lot of variables.
But did you know him before her? That's what I was just thinking. That's what I meant. Not like while she's with them, but before. So I want to make that clear.
Yes, I knew him before her. But the guy that I was dating, the one that was watching this, he always like had speculation, like, what's up with y'all? Like, why is he always tripping? And every time he come around, like, what's up? You sure you ain't sleeping with him? I'm like, no, I'm not sleeping with him.
Yeah.
No,
you were very close.
We were just very tight spiritually. We had a very strong spiritual bond. We did. And so you're not going to find a lot of video of us. You're not going to see me splattered all over the shows with him. You might catch a few TMZ news clips or something like that, but our relationship was genuine. And so when we did have time together, we weren't filming it. We were praying, we were laughing, we were working and accomplishing goals. So I just never took the time to do that because I never felt like I had a working relationship so much with DMX, but with Earl Simmons. I knew the man, and so I respected his privacy. I respected his time. And so so there's not a lot of that of us streaming anywhere, it's just.
So it sounds like your relationship was part of a shared trauma too. Like you guys both went through it, right?
Yeah.
And you were connected together. Yep. And that way you guys both had the same type of spirit, the can-do spirit. We got this, we can, and you came together as, in a spiritual way that you guys could actually have that space that.
You're absolutely right. And it was the spiritual connection was so strong. Like I remember being in his house one night and we were watching a movie. Desiree was getting ready for bed. And Earl was like, you want to watch this movie? We're sitting on the couch. It's super dark. And the only light is on is coming from his bedroom because Desiree's in there getting ready for bed. So the light is gleaming into the living room. And so we're watching a movie and we both turn our head like this and look back. He said, did you see that? I said, you say it first. He said, no, you say it first. I said, I seen a man with a hat, but it was like a shadow. He was like, he stood up. He said, get the fuck. And it was crazy, but it was real. And we've had those moments so many times.
Wow.
So many times. It was like, wow. Like, what was that? We just sat there off for a minute. Like, okay, we know what it is. You know what I mean? And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Yeah.
You seem like a very spiritual person. Well, not seem. You are a very spiritual person. Talk to the audience. I want to tap into some of that motivational fire that you shared with me. Talk to us about when you had your health realization of your mortality. I don't like to see it say scare, but when you said, oh my gosh, talk to us about how you got very spiritual and into yourself and how you dealt with that cancer situation.
So, oh geez. Even before then, at 32, I'm 48 now, proudly. At 32, I had a stroke. I had my last baby, who's 16 now. And I just went to stand up one day and I fell back down. And prior to that, I had some like pain, like a cyst pushing up against my a nerve near my brain. And then I had my blood pressure spiked. Like, I was going through all these things. And then one day I went to stand up and I couldn't walk. I was paralyzed in my entire left side. That was one of the greatest things I've ever had to endure. Like, massive situation, like not being able to speak clearly, working at a law school, but can't read, can't understand, can't speak certain words, having to relearn the meaning of certain words, having to relearn how to write again, like that, and walk. But I wouldn't give up. I'm like, you know what, God, this is not getting ready to be my life. I was still conscious enough and mentally aware enough that I knew that this is not getting ready to be it. I'm not going to be on all these medications. It's not going to happen. And even before then, when I was 19, I found out I had all these food allergies. So my diet is, you can't eat beef, can't eat pork, can't eat dairy, can't have this, can't have that. And so I'm like, okay, God, that, then this, then that. And then I go to the doctor a few months ago and I have a pap smear, and the doctor calls me back and she goes, I don't have good news. And I'm like, what's up? And she's like, your pap smear came back negative. And I'm like, negative? Like, what does that mean? And she was like, well, we need to bring you in and check you for cervical cancer. Like, you have this infection and it's viral. And this is like one of the most serious infections that you can have. And yours is at the worst stage. And so
what is it called? Can you tell the people?
Oh my God, my phone is dead. I can't even, what is it called? You guys know what it's called. It starts with an H.
Human papillomavirus.
Human papillomavirus. So I'm trying to get that out my head because that was like a scary thing for me.
Yes. Go ahead.
So don't know, that is a sexually transmitted virus. But the worst outcome is that it can cause you to have cervical cancer. And so you don't know that you have it, and it's very common.
80% of the population has the HPV. 80% of the population, and that's the United States population.
Yes,
8 out of 10 people have HPV. So I just thrown out some statistics. So keep going.
It got real for me. It got real, and I was like, you know what? All right. So I've been through this. I've been through that, and now this. All right. So my response to that to her was, okay. And so they found some cancer cells. They removed them. I've since gone back. I've got clearance. I'm okay. I'm healed. I'm okay. I'm great. I'm excited. But a lot of that comes with diet changes, making sure you take care of yourself. So that leads me back to the beginning when I find out I have these allergies to all this food, and I find out I can't have sugars and I can't digest certain fruits and vegetables. This is why I'm like, God has created me to be a superhero. Like, I'm supposed to only put things in my body that we're supposed to really have. There's a reason why he has taken me on this path. There's a reason why I had to be a topless dancer. I didn't know that years later I was going to be the general manager of V Live, and I was going to be ministering to the girls on the balcony, on the patio, and they were going to be inspired by me. There's a reason why I had a stroke. Like, I just believe that there's a reason why I got the human papillomavirus, and I had to go through that. There was a reason why I had cancer cells in my body. And I just woke up one day like, you know what? I'm getting ready to stop playing with this thing. I'm about to stop playing because life is short. Yeah. We have to take care of ourselves. You have to be cautious of what you consume, what you're reading, what you're eating, and who you're letting enter into your body. Not that I didn't care before, but it's like, I'm too old for this shit. I don't got time to be passing out, falling out. Like, I have goals. I have a mission. God has sent me on a mission. And if I'm dead, so this is not going to make sense. So, Nakia, you got to get it together. So that's when I'm like, okay, I'm abstaining. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm only eating this. I'm only doing this. And granted, sometimes we got to enjoy ourselves.
You take it in moderation.
Exactly. And so I feel good. I feel amazing. And so I just went and I said, you know what, God, I'm gonna put this in the air. I'm ready. I think I'm ready for a husband. I think I'm ready to be in a relationship. I think I'm ready to give a shot. So God, prepare me for that, because although I can be very vulnerable, I'm very independent, and I know that can be an issue sometimes. So I need someone who's really, and I pray for specifics. I need someone who's willing to love me. And for me, love is the highest form of an understanding. Are you really ready to understand me? Love is about loving the other person, not yourself. I want somebody that can love me enough to give me the things that I love, that I need, that I want, and I'll be willing to give them that, and I'm willing to reciprocate.
Yeah. So is it part of that, Nakia, like the part of the feeling, the independence, is it somewhat of a protection because of what you've been through in relationships?
I'm so glad you asked me. That is a great question. Yes and no, but yes, for the sake of, you need to, at some point, when you've gone through all the things that I've gone through, not just relationships, but I got daddy issues. Even at 48, like, I didn't have a father to tell me how a man was supposed to treat me, or what he's supposed to do when he take me on a date, or how a man is supposed to love me. My father didn't give me that. So that was missing. So me always searching for that kind of love and someone, and have a man to protect me and do all those things. So my independence, it has a lot to do with that, but also has a lot to do with, I just don't believe God has given me all these gifts to not utilize them. And the only way to do that is to be able to get up and freely go, be able to do it. I cannot employ in my mind that I'm supposed to work this 9 to 5, get up, go to work every day. That's all I'm supposed to do. No, I would be wasting away. There's so much more that I have to do and that I have to offer society.
I agree with that. Yes, this 9 to 5 stuff is, I don't know. I don't want my children to have to get up every day. Like, I was taught to go to college, get a job. It's like, whose idea was this?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And it's and that's the thing too. I love that you're saying that, because again, going back to that, like, I had scholarships to college. I could have gone. What happened? But again, my faith and me believing that God has ordered my steps, that maybe I wasn't supposed to go. I just told you I was a school teacher and didn't even have a college degree, but I was in the building and I was able to be successful and accomplish the things that they called me in to accomplish. And after that, God moved me on in another direction, and it just kept getting greater and greater. So I'm a firm believer that, again, faith, prayer, and just being strong and, protecting your independence, still being able to do. That's why I'm like, I need a man that would allow me to be me, that would love me for who I am. And I want to love him for who he is, but I want it to make sense for us. And so I've been praying for that.
That sounds wonderful. It's good that you came through all these adversities and still believe in wanting to do something and not be afraid, to actually explore those endeavors, since you've had so many setbacks. It's like myself personally, I look at things and I go like, well, why is these things happening to me? It means that I shouldn't do it. But it's like, I love your positivity and how your outlook, because I can be a little negative. I'm trying to change that about myself, try to be more.
I have a question about that, and just everything that you've gone through, whether it's the relationships or stepping out on faith on your dreams and everything. A lot of us get stuck in the constant of life of just what's comfortable. So how did you get out of that stage of knowing where you were was comfortable for you, but you knew you had to like put him out, or you had to step out and be in a money financial situation where you don't know where your meal's coming from or anything, because you knew you had a dream to fulfill. So can you speak on some stuff like that and how you got there?
I love that. Thank you for asking that too. I love to share that. So early on, my steps were just ordered. I had no idea what I was doing. I just had I had ideas, ideologies, and I'm just following them. But God just protected me along the way. But then at about, again, the age 40, there was just this thing where God allowed me to see myself. I've never been the type to just live in a comfortable space, because I've seen what my parents have been through. I've seen my family members. We didn't have anything. Nobody's leaving anybody anything. And I'm like, that's not how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to collectively grow as a family. We're supposed to have real estate. We're supposed to do this and all these things. So my life's purpose, my goals have always been to go after those things. And I know if I stay in a place mentally or in a space, then I'm not going to accomplish that. I have to get up. I have no time. And see, that's the thing too, that's hard for us Black women, for sisters. Like a lot of us, we don't even have time to grieve. We don't have time to grieve. And a lot of that comes from not having a man who makes us feel safe. Make me feel safe enough where I can be a woman and I can exhaust the roles that the innate roles that God gave me. And so I can't be in this space. I need to accelerate. I need to elevate. I need to accomplish these goals. And again, God has shown me these things, so I know it's possible. This stuff is not just coming up in my head because I'm just a great dreamer. This is coming up in my head because I can do this. This is a real thing. So you mean to tell me if I do this, I can go, I'm going to do it. Because what's the worst thing that's going to happen? I'm going to fall. But guess what? I'll just get back up. I'm not all the crap that I've been through in my life. I'm not afraid to fall. I'm not afraid to fight. I had a man beating me for years. I'm not scared of anything. Nothing fears me but God. So wow. I'm like, I'm not staying here. This is not what I want. So I need to find peace in things. Mm-hmm. So if I'm in a relationship and there's no peace for me, there's no understanding, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because I'm not here to cater to everyone else's needs. We need to be, it needs to be reciprocated. We need to be doing things for one another. And there's certain things that I need. And so in order to get them, I have to get up and go get it. Because God has not sent me that yet from anybody else. So I have to get up and go get it.
Wow. I want to ask you about, if you're sharing a lot of great, very, very painful moments that you've healed from, but it's important because there are a lot of sisters out here that are going through what you've already, overcome. When you say you were being beaten and you were in domestic abuse, have you talked to anyone? I mean, I know you have, but I want you to share. Who have you talked to or mentored or reached out to, like women who are now dealing with that? Is there a network that you go through?
So I want to comment. Someone said even a good sister circle can help you grieve better. Yes, I do have a good sister circle. I do have a good group of friends, honey. And let me tell you,
you're adding us to your sister circle. So
yes, it's necessary, honey. So yes, I agree. But so a few years ago, my daughter and I partnered up with the Elam House. It is an association that is ran by the Salvation Army. And the Elam House is a domestic violence shelter for women and their children. And so we would go there starting years ago. I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona. I think they since changed the name, but we would go there years ago and we would feed the homeless. We put on shows for them and entertain them. The lawyers that I work for at the law school would come give free advice, free legal advice and things like that. And so I'm always partnering with different organizations. So again, having this organization that I have now, the Education, Arts, Entertainment Association, we're going to be doing more of that. We're going to be doing more of making sure that we can offer even women who, because again, this is another thing that's dear to me. So this place is about everything that's dear to me, right? Beautiful. I know I'm not the only one. So I want you to bring everything that's dear to you. Let's talk about it. Maybe we have some things in common. Let's exhaust these opportunities. Let's go, do these things where we're raising money for our women to go to college, for our women to get therapy, for our kids to get the things that they need. Let's stand up and help each other. That's what this is about. That's what I'm about. That's what I stand on. So I believe that everything that I've gone through, whether if it was abuse, whether it was a stroke, high blood pressure, cancer, whatever, God has equipped me to tell people that this can be you. This is real. This can happen. Just keep the faith. Keep praying. Keep believing in you. God did not create a God in you to not utilize that, to not go out and be great. Like you can't tell me anything different. That's how I get it done. I believe in God. I trust God. I believe in the goddess in me. And that's what keeps me going. I'm not straying away from that. And that's just what it is. Awesome. I don't have any other reason behind it. That's just it.
Wow, it just sounds so amazing. Like, I love your energy. I love it. And so you're starting a country club, right? And you're gonna have golf and all that. And
so we're not gonna have golf. I'm just calling it a country club because people are familiar with what a country club is, but it's a private social club for people in education, arts, and entertainment. So or the people that cater to us as well. So you can be a car salesman and be a member here, because people that are in education, arts, and entertainment, we need to drive cars. So it's almost for anybody, but you have to be a member. And I did that because I want like-minded people to be associated with like-minded people. There's power in numbers. There's strength in that. And we need to take better care of each other. And somebody put that on the screen. I'm like, took the words out of my mouth. And we need to be there for each other. We need to support each other. So we'll be doing business with each other. So I want to know what your business is. I want you to bring it here. I want to showcase your products and services. I want to put a day on the calendar where everything here is about what you do. And so that's what this private social club is about. So I have a gentleman who's interested in teaching a mindset mastery class there. I have a gentleman who wants to have a crypto cafe one day out of the week where people who are interested in the stock exchange and things like that, they come in and they just watch the screens and watch the stock market all day and watch Bitcoin. And then I have another guy who wants to come in once a month and bring a celebrity, and we just have a cocktail hour and socialize with the celebrity. So all these people have all these great ideas, and now we have the private club to do it. We have our own space. Yeah.
I can't wait. When is the opening?
October 15th is our soft opening. I'm really excited about it. I'm just like, wow, this is really happening.
I'm gonna work it out to bring Sonnetter there, so we can have a really good exposure for it. I know you have people who do the live streaming, but if we can have more than one, of course.
Yes. I want you out there. I want you to be on my board. I want you to be my
I'm going to talk about that. When you talked about the Elam House, I've done outreach there for the women. Yeah. I've done so many. We used to and it used to be illegal, but it's not illegal anymore. We used to set up clinics on the front. It looked like abortion clinics, but inside we would do counseling. It wasn't, some people think we were turning people or badgering people not to get abortions, but so many women that were in there because of domestic abuse, incest. A lot of them were, prostitutes. So we would help the women. And I'm excited to hear that we're aligned with that. I'm ready to get to work because from COVID, that's when I had stopped doing a lot of the work. You know how it was, everything. You couldn't even go into the shelters. You couldn't do anything. So I'm excited. You are a true activist. Now, you know what? I don't know about y'all, but my drink is finished. So I'm going to open up I think I should open the panel. If you don't mind, Nakia, people come in. No, they have to be respectful. And I know my audience will be. Okay. They come in, ask you a quick question, maybe, give you a compliment, just make a statement, and then they jump off. Now, usually we don't get a lot of people coming in, so we'll see. Okay. But I'm just excited to have you here. I'm really happy. How do you ladies, what do you ladies think about adding her to the panel? I think I need to add her to the whole show. Come on.
I'm with it. I love her energy. Oh
my God.
I want to ask you a question, Nakia. Yes, when you was breaking up with your exes, and you knew like you said, you want a new relationship, and I'm kind of going through a little something, and I'm ready. I think I'm ready to go forth in a relationship. How did you because we like certain guys and we like certain things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Did you ever write down, you know what I'm saying, the things that you didn't like? And so you said, I found that out about that person. I don't like that. So, I mean, because you don't want to run back into the same situation. Huh?
I'm a strong believer in writing everything down.
Yes.
Yes, I do. I write things down, and it's so crazy. You're going to trip out because I don't have it right now, but I use everything as a dry erase board. My mirrors, my picture frames. If I have something on my mind, my desk, I write it with a dry erase. With the dry erase marker, I just write it down because I don't want to lose the moment. I've been keeping a journal of things maybe for about 3 years about my life because I want to pass it to my kids. That'll be a part of my will and testament to give my kids the journal that I've started. But I like to write things down about all things that I like and don't like, and then just different ideologies as well. But as far as men go in relationships, I'm very specific for what I want and what I don't want. So I write that down to manifest it.
Right. I got you.
Yeah, to manifest it.
So wait
Like,
a minute, but when you write it down, have you ever been in a situation where for guys said, well, what do you like and what don't you like? You just give them the list like
no, I
all the
know it. No,
year.
I know it. I'm just gonna tell them. I'm just gonna tell them this
Mhm.
is what I don't like. I'm very direct. I'm very clear in my with my boundaries and my standards. This I have not always been that way, but I am that way today. Like this is not just a phase for me. These are my character traits. These are my boundaries. These are my standards. This is what it is. And yeah, I'm not.
I
I've
find
learned
that
how to love me so much
yeah.
that
Mhm.
if you can't love me how I love me, then you're not going to be able to love me. It's not
Right.
gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that they some you know why I do that? Like I'll write down what I don't like and I right there because I don't want them to act like they forgot. So if you got a copy and I got a copy, look back on the copy and then you know what to do and what not to do.
And you know I like that too. And no disrespect to the men, but I hear a lot of men say this, like like write it down for me, make me a note. Sometimes they need a honey-do list. Maybe they
Yes.
need a honey-don't list too.
Mm.
Yeah.
Maybe be a thing.
These are
Honey,
all the don'ts. And this
honey,
is
don't do that.
you know
And
what I
you
mean?
really hit on it though. Like it's about validation, right? It's like how are you
Yes.
validated in a
Yeah.
relationship? And you know, as a counselor dealing with, individuals and families and couples, it's that invalidation in the
Yeah.
relationship that really does, speak volumes when you're not being validated and actually going through trauma, having, those intergenerational trauma experiences, and then getting into a relationship where that validation is not there.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so
And
that's
that's
good.
true too, because I feel like again, I like to celebrate people and I like to be celebrated. You know, it's okay to tell somebody they did a good job. You know, it's okay to tell someone, "Oh, you look beautiful today. Oh, you look good. You smell good." You know, and it's okay also to tell someone what you don't like.
Mhm.
That gives them a better understanding of how to love you. And so I need that. I need that in my relationship. We have to be able to have a genuine, honest conversation
Right.
about things. Like, granted, you know, we know people aren't perfect. You know what I mean? Like, I snore for God's sakes. I do. And if I'm tired, I don't know, leave the room because I've heard I snore really loud when I'm tired. Maybe, you know, maybe that turns some guys out. I don't know, but it is what it is. I
Well,
have
I've
asthma.
known to put a couple on the floor. Don't
Listen, listen.
that's one of my that's on my list. Don't snore.
I snore. So I don't know. But I'm just a firm believer too of just tell me, you know, what you need. You know, give me the open opportunity to be able to say either I can provide that or I can't. Or
Right.
you know, maybe we can come to a compromise or whatever. So I'm very open. I like to communicate in my relationships. I'm a communicator. I like resolve and I like understanding more than anything. More than
Have you
anything.
ever had a love that you want that kind of love again? Like
You said, sorry.
like there was some bad parts in the relationship, of course,
Mhm,
every
mhm,
relationship. But has there ever been a love that you want, like a lusty love that you
mhm.
back in a new relationship that you're going to be going in? Like, you know, it's only like a few times that you may get somebody in your life that you are just, you know, just so in love with. Every time you look at the person, you are like, I gotta get them. Like, you know, like you are working, you like, I can't wait till 5 o'clock. Get here. You know what
Have
I'm
I
saying?
had that? You're asking?
Yeah. Have you ever was with somebody like that and now you want that back again? That just that part.
So not anybody that I work with or anything, but I do have a friend that I lust over. And I think he lusts over me as well. I think he's watching
Mhm.
this too. And because he just texted me a little
Oh,
while
he
ago.
does.
But he texted me a little while ago. I sent him the link. But we can't have each other. We tried. We're better off friends. We do understand that we're better off friends. But we both thought we would be perfect for each other, you know, like because professionally, career wise, he has it together. You know, he's handsome, he's hardworking. He's the man that's gonna say, "Hey, I'm on my way to bring you lunch." You know, you don't have to ask him to be a man. He understands how to be a man, and I love that about him. But when we tried to give it a shot, it just didn't work. It did not work, and he understands why. I understand why, but I was ready, but he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
Could it be timing? I mean, like,
Of
Right.
course. Of
yeah.
course it is. It's definitely timing, and
she's a Gemini.
yeah.
Get that part.
Hold up. I heard you say he's a Gemini.
No, she said I'm a Gemini.
And what does that have to do with anything? I'm a Gemini.
I'm
We're very dedicated to our relationships. And the problem is with the type of men that a lot of Gemini, now I'm speaking generally, y'all can jump in and say, that's all cap, Nepal. And I'll say, you got me. But the type of men that a lot of women that, like if you choose an alpha male or a very traditional man, as a Gemini, you'll pour all yourself into that man.
Yes.
And he will misunderstand that and take it for granted. It's almost like how children take their parents for granted.
Yeah.
And then they stop. Because I heard what you said when you said the thing about bringing the lunch without being asked.
Yeah.
You know how I think I talked before with this panel or on another live. I said children think parents don't. Remember, I told a story about my nephew saying moms eat. So you get that in a relationship, and it might not just be Geminis. I want to throw this out to the sisters. Have you seen that? I'm gonna make y'all answer. My evil powers. I'm gonna go around each one of you. Have you seen? Let's start with Naphtali. Not your husband right now, or maybe that's the only time you ever had a relationship. But have you seen any semblance or any bit of that in your relationship where sometimes, even as a mom, but I'm saying in a relationship, you do so much. Just a yes or no. You don't have to get all into it because I know.
I'm just listening.
You do so much, and then you say, did you forget that I'm not I know I'm awesome, but I'm not, I am human. Like
I'm not a robot. Not a robot.
What do you think about that? And then just pass it on pass the baton after you finish. What about that?
Yeah, that's just how it is sometimes where, people get used to you overcompensating for their shortcomings. And that can be in their relationship, that can be in relationship with your friends, with your families. They just want to put the bulk of the stress on you because you're like a jack of all trades, but they don't realize that people like us, you need to check on your strong friends because we need support too. We need help.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, especially within relationship. Yeah, people can forget, and you have to remind them like, hey, I am I am a bit, I do care. I do have feelings. I know sometimes I can come off as if I don't, but I do. And you got to remind that person. And then once you do, hopefully they will respond to you and say, I'm sorry, and actually showcase you that support that you need. But yes, I definitely know what you're talking about. In all types of relationship aspects too. Not just in your relationship with your husband or your boyfriend, but with friends, family, everybody can just take advantage of you and not, remember that you are a human. You're not just a robot. So I know
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Before I move on to the other sisters with further response, you want to say something to that, Nakia?
No, I'm listening. I'm loving this. I want to take this in. Like I love what she said. Like you,
I don't see Geminis.
Okay, let me move on to.
I'm gonna listen to them first.
Okay, in motion.
Yeah.
All right, because I actually have interacted with all of these women on the panel, and I kind of know their answer, what it will be, but I do want them to really seriously share. And what about you, in motion? Have you ever felt like, look, you guys, I know I seem like I'm floating on air, but I actually have legs, and I'm a human being.
Yeah.
You
That's a
ever feel
tough.
like that?
It's a tough place to be because we're we're made. We're made like we're superheroes. We actually. We're convincing ourselves that we're these superheroes. So, but we're not, right? We're super women, but at the same time, we're human. And it's in those places that we feel, when we're not feeling validated, when we're always talking about being validated, that you start saying, what about me? That's that quiet moment in DBT, in dialectical behavioral therapy. We talk about the doing and the being, right? And then in the middle, there's a wise mind. So there's a place where we just have to be able to just take everything in, to be able to, connect with the world as a passenger and not as a driver.
Yeah.
So in our relationships, when we take on that place of, okay, I gotta do this because we are who we are, that happens. It happens to all of us. And yeah, I definitely can relate.
Okay, so she gave us the very psychological, technical side of things. And I know, Nakia, I like to bounce back to you before I move on to the next sister. I know you said something similar to that when you talked about I had to really love me, and I had to, it still stays with me when you said even more than my children.
Yeah, so what I was saying to you the other day is that when God gave me this knowledge of self, it was so overwhelming, and I appreciate it so much, but it was greater. The love that I have for myself and for that moment of God sharing me with me was greater than the moment of my own children, because I need to know me. I need to understand me. I need to love me. I cannot give if I have nothing to give. I cannot give from an empty cup. And so understanding who I am, learning and loving me for who I am helps me to expand the love. It helps me to share the love. But I first had to understand who I was, and to speak to the whole superhero floating thing, I get it all the time from guys, well, used to, I'm abstaining, but before I would get it all the time from guys, they just think that you're and it's a compliment, but it's a curse at the same time. They think it's so amazing that you can be in 10 places and do 10 things at one time, which most of the time we can, but doesn't mean we always want to.
Right.
I was saying when I'm like, I need a man that will understand me, because I'm a busy bee. I will be going. Sit down, baby. Tonight we're having dinner.
Yeah.
We're not. I bought you a nice dress. I want you to put this on because I want to see you in this, and I'm taking you to dinner.
Oh, you making me feel verklempt.
Yeah, and so, or sometimes me, like, seeing that in him too. But no, although I'm saying yes, God built me to be the superhero, but I meant like mentally and in strength, like being able to endure and overcome things. But I don't got time to be running around trying to act like I got wings and I can fly. I'm not doing that. We need to be doing things together.
We need to be vulnerable.
Yes, we need to be vulnerable. We need to be planning. We need to be talking things out and over and coming up with some collective things that we're going to do together, because I'm not a superhero in that sense. Because the reality is I don't really want to cook. I don't want to clean up. I don't want to do any of that. Reality. I'm going to tell you, like, I do it because I have to, and I do it if I have to. But I'm going to tell you, I'm the girl. I'd rather go to work, make this money, live out my dreams, live in my career, enjoy the things that I love to do, and contribute to that. And we just go get a maid and hire a chef.
Oh, wow. That sounds awesome.
I'm being honest, girl. I'm tired. I never like to do
I agree with that. I second that.
Girl, I'm tired.
I have to say, I love that idea. Now, all the brothers and sisters out there saying, but why don't you love to cook? It doesn't matter if we can cook and throw down.
Right.
I know we all can cook, but we like to sit back and
yeah.
We like to be pampered. We like to be cooked for sometimes. There's nothing wrong with it. I enjoy being cooked for.
And then when you work hard or you work a lot of hours, you tired, but you still got to eat. So I'm like, if we're making the money, we're both working and we're both committed to this thing. Well, let's figure so many days a week where we hire a chef. I'll cook on some days and maybe you can cook too. But the other days, chef so-and-so is going to be over here, or we ordering out, or take me out.
Wow.
Every day.
This is really crazy, because I was called earlier about this same conversation that we're having. And the gentleman asked me, he said, well, when y'all get off of the SipDown, come on over to my show so y'all can speak to these guys and tell them how a woman really feels.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
Well, Robin, now that since you spoke up, talk to us about, I know you kind of touched on it, but you ever feel like, I know you invest a lot of yourself. Yes, I'm doing all this, but what about me? Talk to us about that.
Well, of course, by nature, sometimes you just do it and you don't even realize that you're doing so much because, it's something by nature that a woman just does. A woman is such a super person that she could go to work all day long and still come home, do the kids' homework with the kids, make sure the husband got or the man got his, his meal to eat. Everything. We don't even realize. We just thinking that this is the way it's supposed to be. The good book say, or the book, it says, leave your mother and cling to your wife because she becomes your second mother. Because she's doing the same thing that your mom is doing. Like she's protecting you, cooking for you, cleaning for you. It's just, you don't even realize it's happening. But yes, I'm with Nakia. I want a man to say to me, baby, on
validation. Emotion, right? That's a validation.
So that's what's so funny because as you said that, Robin, I'm thinking about how we're now empty nesters. So both of our kids are off to college.
You mean you and your husband? And your husband.
So we don't have kids in the house now. But what's so amazing what you're saying is that because we're so prepped, because we're taking care of everyone, that when they're here, I'm cooking, and I have a full-time job. I'm running a whole office, but I'm coming home and I'm cooking and cooking and cooking. Now that the kids are away, it's really kind of funny because I get home, I'm like, where's dinner? Because he works from home, so I'm like, what's going on? Like,
you remember? Wait! Y'all remember the Martin Lawrence
at home and he's not cooking dinner? Okay.
Naphtali start stirring the pot.
Do y'all think it's wrong for us to say 3 nights or 2 nights out the week we'd like to go out and eat?
No.
We like to take me out. I want to go out and eat. I don't want to cook every night.
That's
every night. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want somebody's just baby, can you just sit down? I'll fix something. I'll rub your back. I just want to be pampered. I'm with you, Nakia.
I want to be pampered. So let me tell you, I want to be pampered, but I'm also not okay. So pampering me can mean if you want to rub my feet, that's good. But you can send me to the spa. You can send me to the spa too, because I'm gonna tell you, because I'm not gonna always rub your feet. I'll give you that. Every now and again. I'll give you that. But I'm gonna be like, baby, let's go to the spa. I'm just saying, I'm at a point in my life where I want to live. I want to go out and enjoy the amenities.
But be honest, it is something about
right
that wants to take care of our man.
Oh, no, we do.
We already, Robin, that's not what we're talking about right now.
We do. I don't know. I'm saying the pamperishy way. Yeah. It's something in you.
No, right. You love taking care of my man.
When she says you want the man to say not tonight, baby. We're going out. Come on, and we can rate, and I'm gonna take care of you tonight. And then you be like, well, I can't wait.
That is how I want it to go. Exactly. I want to get my frying pan out, my apron on, my Sealy head wrap. And he said, baby, take that off. Mm-hmm. Go put on this beautiful dress I bought you. Oh, really, baby? Okay. And baby, by the way, you're going to get a massage too. Really, baby?
That sounds
we all want that.
You can have them when they talk about the massages.
I've taken my man to get a massage when I was on together. So it wasn't just like him saying, I've taken him like, come on, babe, I got a massage scheduled for us today. And we've gone. So that is the thing. So I love taking care of my man. I love
that's what I was saying.
That he loves. Mm-hmm. I love giving him what he loves because I want him to give me what I love, because that's what love is. Yes. And so, but sometimes I don't want to do that. We're already doing the obvious, right? Because the thing is, we have all these innate abilities. So, clearly the woman, we're more domestic. Our strength is a little bit different than their strength. They have more of the physical strength. We have more of the mental and emotional strength. And I know some men would beg to differ. They're like, oh, women be
But you're just telling the truth.
But that's the truth. And so it's like, I know what I can exactly. Reciprocity, exactly. Somebody saying pampering plus reciprocity. That's a fact.
That's what it's about.
Where he at? And so
he is single.
He got a pretty smile too.
That's my brother Tahutia. Oh,
now. Exactly.
Don't tell me I made a love connection tonight, y'all. Now is that the almond milk and rum talk?
No, is it the real?
No, just kidding.
You're getting the real me. So I love taking care
it.
of my man. I love spoiling my man.
Yes, me too.
Like, okay, your birthday is coming up. Great. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna rent a boat. We're gonna go to Lake Pleasant. We're gonna get some of our friends
Lake
on the boat. Like, this is why I work so hard to enjoy. I don't work just to pay bills, and that's not fun. We don't want to just pay bills. We want to go out and live. Right? So I'm not cooking every night. I'm not rubbing feet every night. I don't expect you to do that for me either. But let's be realistic. Let's grow. However, and see, this is just stuff I need. You ladies might not need this. These are things that I need. I need to be able to say, you know what? We've been working so hard. We are not even staying in the house this weekend. We're going to do a staycation.
Oh, we need it.
Yeah, we're not working so hard. We've been working so hard. You know what? Nobody's cooking tonight. Baby, I already ordered. Even if it's DoorDash, it could be the smallest things. It don't always have to be $1 million restaurant. It don't always have to be that.
Right.
You know, he may come in one day and right at the house, I got the candles lit and the dinner's going. It smells good. He walks in there like, what's that? Showers on. Like, I love doing stuff like that for my man. I'm just saying, don't expect it every day. Because homegirls
and it's about giving it too, reciprocity.
Homegirls great pick up the laundry. I'm just gonna wash the underwear and the socks. She's gonna do everything else.
Or just have one of them candles. I've been dying to do this with somebody. Having them candles that smell like a apple pie is cooking. You look in the oven and ain't no apple pie.
I was trying to talk about the Martin Lawrence thing where he came in and his wife was on the sofa and he went and looked. He said, "No, wait, before I start yelling at her, let me go check the stove and make sure." And he looked in there. He said, "Oh, nope, nothing's in there." He said, you didn't get a hankering for a hunk of cheese or Snickers? You weren't hungry all day?" That's what I think when Emotion said she's an empty nester. Now we're talking, I'd say Nakia, Robin, and Emotion, they're empty nesters.
No, I have a 16-year-old at home.
Oh, so you're not an empty nest. Okay, no. So when you have, it's different when you have a relationship and you're not an empty nester.
Yeah.
You got to focus on not just your man as a mother, as the mother figure in the home. You have to focus on the children. And I think, I'm not trying to stir the pot. And some people are like, Napah, you're a feminist. No, I'm just talking about reality.
Yeah.
Right.
When you as a woman, a mother, have to take care of the children and the husband and yourself and a business, work, I think when everything comes down to it and the man doesn't understand, what I'm trying to say it very carefully, because we just talked about the woman king last week, and I don't want my brothers out there saying, I'm tired of that sip down, because they need to stop bashing men. We're not bashing men. But let me say this. No. I think brothers should really be a little bit more sensitive and understanding in relationships when the wife is like, maybe at the edge of stuff or too tired or cranky or complaining, because she has to do a lot. Yeah. Typically, now there are men out there saying, well, I take care of the kids too. You're not typical. Exactly. What do y'all think about that? I'm throwing that out there. Anybody?
No, I love that. Let me tell you, my son, who's 30 years old, he just got married a few years ago. He called me as he was newly into his marriage and he says, Mom, she is driving me crazy. I said, what do you mean? He was like, she is being a bitch. And I said, why are you saying that? That's your wife. He was like, she being mean. Today's the first day of her period. I said, stop right there. Stop right there, because that's what we're not getting ready to do. You are not getting ready to disrespect her womanhood. That's what
wow. So I got to give you a hand.
Yeah. What I need you to do, son, is understand that this is an innate thing that God has given her. Like every month, her uterus has to shed a lining, and that it is a painful process. Our hormones are affected and we can't do anything about it. Wow. This is something that just is a natural thing. I need to make her a cup of tea, make her breakfast. And so he hadn't approached her at all. He was just in his feelings, and he knew to call his mama. And I love him for that. And I thank God that I am alive and well, and I'm able to give him this. And I said, go make her a cup of tea, make her some breakfast. He called me later on. He said, Mom, it worked. I said, exactly. Because you need to pay attention to who she is. You need to be understanding. And if you love her, I said, this is what I was talking about. Love is not going to always be matters of the heart.
That's right.
Sometimes somebody going to get on your nerves, and you need to understand them enough to know how to cater to that so it doesn't cause conflict.
Yes.
It worked.
Yes.
It
And
worked.
to
And you know,
note to
my
all
mom
the
used to
note to
not
all
think
the
we
men
together
out there
forever.
that this is information. This is good information. This is about, it's not a bashing look. Bring it in, come and watch, because this is how we are able to talk, and you guys can see
Yeah.
that we love men. It's
Yes.
just this is what's happening. This is what's
Yes.
happening with women. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. And great way to have a son, and we have sons,
Yep.
and I think all of us have sons. Robin, she turned her camera off, but she can hear us.
Uh-huh.
All of us have sons, and you have to show your sons this is how you should, help them when in situations like that. This is what women need. But even with our daughters, that's who I'm more concerned about now. My talk, our daughters, I don't want my daughter to end up being taken advantage of. And I'm not talking about like some big bad guy, or I mean like a husband. Like,
Yeah.
oh, go wash my dishes. Why didn't you cook my food? Why is you ironing my clothes? And I say that because I'm the type to do those things. Those things aren't bad.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know about that balance. Talk to us about that. Nakia, I'll hand that to you. You want
So,
to chime in?
those are not bad things. Again, these are all great things. You should want to take care of each other. You should be happy. I'm elated to take care of my man. He feels good to take care of me. So that's not a bad thing. It makes me feel good to know that I love somebody enough that I want to do these things for them and they want to reciprocate. So it's very important, but my daughter has gone in a different direction, but just for my kids in general, I want them to be in relationships where they can also get the reciprocity. They can have someone that understands them for who they are. And I'm grateful to say that my two oldest children are both in relationships that they are with loving individuals. I thank God that they both receive love from their significant other and their spouse. So I just feel like, again, everything is about an understanding. Like, what you have, Napah, doesn't have to be what I have in my house. There's no rules. I don't, and I mean this respectfully. It's not my business what you do in your house. You may give me some jewels, or you may give me some ideas or
Right.
some tips on how you do things, but we need to do what works for us. We need to regulate what works for us. What makes us happy? How are we managing our relationship? Because what works for you and what you love and what you need may not be what I love and what I need and what works for us. And so, again, for me, that always just goes back to love being the highest form of an understanding. If I understand you, you understand me. We both going to get exactly what we need out this relationship. Period. And I teach my kids that, as you can see from my son. I teach my kids that, like, don't be in a situation that you don't want to be in. If they're not fulfilling what you need, then get out. Period. One day you're gonna die. One day you're gonna die. And you don't have to be in a situation. I thought I had to be in a situation because I was married. And I had a relative tell me, I mean, you might as well stay. That is your husband, and ain't nothing else out there, no sense in running. You might as well your grass is greener where you water it. So essentially stay there, get beat, live through it, get over it. And I'm not doing that. I'm out of here. I'm leaving. I'm starting over. And I'll keep starting over until I get it right. I'm not staying in a situation that I don't feel comfortable in. So everything is about an understanding. Everything is about having that high form of love to where you can just have what you want and get what you want and be happy.
I admire you for that mindset, Dulcinea. You thought and I love you for that mindset, Nakia. Thank you for sharing those jewels.
Yeah.
You thought I forgot about you, Dulcinea. I did it. Dulcinea, have you ever felt like, okay, y'all, I know you see these angel wings, but sometimes I need a break. Do you ever feel like you're, being just overlooked as far as you being a flesh and blood person in your relationships?
Yeah, I definitely think, and when you were saying that, I was like, I think that comes from every wife and mother, that they go through that period of just feeling that way, because there's just so much that we have to do. I watched my mom do it, where it was like we're completely lost without her. When we lost her, we didn't know how to, like, do little things like, okay, who knows how to check the voicemail? Like no one's like, everyone's like, no, you don't know, we don't know. Everything is like taken care of by women, and we put a lot on ourselves. And the key is something you said earlier too, like of that mourning stage. We're not even allowed to mourn. That really affected me because I've been there definitely where people, when I went through what I went through with my parents passing away, it was like, they're not going to care. You have to keep going, all this other stuff. So you don't get that time to really be human and just be like, okay, they just know that you're strong. You're going to get through this. No, you're okay. That's what people would tell me to comfort me. And sometimes you do want that comfort that's like, okay, no, I'm not strong. I do want to like not be strong for once. So
hold me up. I don't have it together today. I don't always have it together. Yeah, I sometimes have breakdowns. I'll share something with you guys that's very sensitive. Like it's very, very sensitive. 2019. Late 2019, I attempted suicide. And I was, everybody's like, oh, she's so strong. She's this. And like, she said, you have to check on your strong friends. Like you just don't make assumptions and thinking that they're okay. And I would never assume that I would try to do something like this. And it's definitely a dark place, but I got there because I just felt like I wasn't where I wanted to be in life in that moment. And I had not gotten as spiritually grounded as I am today. And that was the main reason behind it. But more so, it's just, I was going through a horrible time in my life where my finances were bad. X and I were on the brink of things again. And there was just no real stability. And I've always had something. I've always had a nice home. I've always had a nice paying career. I've always had something going, even a great side hustle, something, a good idea. But at this moment in my life, like everything was crashing and burning. Nothing was working. I was living in my girlfriend's house. I couldn't even pay her rent. Like it was a horrible time in my life. And I gave up. I gave up. And it makes me emotional because it's very hard. But I woke up one day and I was like, today is going to be the day I'm going to do it. I can't take care of my son. I'm no good for my kids. I have nothing to offer them. This is crazy. I can't find a decent job. None of my ideas are working. What is happening in my life? How did I get here? And I knew how I got there, but X called me on FaceTime this day and we were like going through it. And that's the reason we had stopped working again. I ended up going back, but why we had stopped working again. And he called me on FaceTime. He was sitting there with his fiance, and he says, what are you doing? And he was like, are you drunk? And I was like, yes, I just drunk like a half of a liter of Tito's. He was like, what? And I was like, I'm about to take all these pills. And he's seen them as like maybe 14 or 15 Vicodin. I think I had them from like a toothache or something like that, or tooth surgery, whatever. And I took them like right in front of him, like, pow. And he was like, what? And he had his girl. He's like, you got Nakia's address? And he called the people to my house. And I went to the door. And I'm living in this big 4,000 square foot. And when you walk in, you're like, wow, who lives here? This person, this is so beautiful. So I opened the door for the guys. And I kind of stood behind the door. And I said, hold on, I'm not dressed. I'll be right back. But I was fully dressed. I was going to hide the drugs and hide the alcohol. And, and I'm trying to let them see I got it together. But they can clearly see I'm drunk as hell. And so I opened the door up, have on this dress, and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, I am drinking in my home, and I am okay. And they looked around, and they was like, this doesn't look like the home of somebody who would be trying to, like, do something crazy. Like, you seem like you're okay. You just seem like you're drinking. I was like, yes, that's it. So they left, but I didn't lock the door just because I'm drunk. So the last thing I remember is passing out on the couch. A friend of mine was renting a room for me. He came home and he said he found me on the couch, passed out. There was a victim's advocate. I mean, there was an advocate for a suicide advocate, that intervention guy that came out. And I do remember seeing his face was very blurry. I could see that he was either black man or Hispanic. I couldn't really make it out. I just seen a baseball cap and blurry. So I end up telling, he's like, what did you do? What did you do? We're trying to help you. We're trying to help you. And I just hear him saying, we're going to lose her. We're going to lose her. And I pointed under the couch, and that's when they found the drugs, and they, seen the alcohol I was drinking, and they rushed me to the hospital, cleaned out my system. And I remember waking up, and my friend was there, and I looked up and I said, really, God? Even I can't fuck this up. Like, so at that moment, I realized, girl, get it together. You cannot take yourself out. It is not your time. That is not your place. That is not your job. Get it together. Whatever is happening to you, you will overcome this. You've been through worse. So what? You don't got no money today. You're going to be fine. And so my girlfriend came to me and was like, I'm not putting you out. So what? You can't pay the bills. I'm going to have to pay this mortgage anyway. I'm not putting you and your son out. You're going to be okay. So she was my saving grace. I love her, and I thank her so much to this day. But it all spanned from years ago. I caught a criminal case here in Arizona. My daughter was 14 years old. She ran away from home, and she was influenced by a young lady that I had hired as my nanny because I was traveling a lot and working a lot with Earl. And this girl, my daughter was like trying to go through her stage of dealing with what had happened to her. Because remember, I didn't know yet. She didn't, hadn't shared that she had been being raped.
Right.
I didn't know what was going on with her. And so then when she ran away, she was gone for like 3 or 4 days. And I was a nervous wreck. And I got a call, and it kind of proved to me where she was. And I went over there, and I'm like, I'm going to get my daughter. And this girl, I found her, she had gotten into some prostitution or something crazy. And she's be my nanny. And it's like, it just all went haywire. And when I went over there, I was looking for my daughter, who's 14, and I just lost it.
Right.
And I can say this because I told the judge, and I did my time. And I told the judge, I said, listen, judge, he said, you want to say anything before we sentence you? And I said, yes, I do. And I started crying. I said, listen, this is my daughter, my only daughter. And I have 3 kids, and mind you, again, I still didn't know that she had been raped and beaten from the age of 5. I just know she's missing, and something, those streets are not nice. I don't know what's happening, and I'm going to get mine.
Which happens very often to young ladies.
I'm going
to
get
this isn't something that just happens to our people. It happens across the board to young girls.
And it's horrible. So I'm like, I went to get my daughter, and I asked the guy. He came down to take out trash. The young lady I was looking for was standing on the balcony. I didn't even know where they lived, but they just happened to be on the balcony. He comes out, he takes out trash. I said, excuse me, sir, have you ever seen this little girl? I had a flyer of her ex, had all the Rough Riders put up flyers all over the city because they got word to him that she was missing. And so he says, no, I've never seen her before. And I said, you're lying. I'm going to ask you one more time. You see these guys behind me? I want to know one more time. So finally he was like, let's go in the house. Let's see it. And I may have put my hands on him, whatever. But when I got to the judge, I told the judge, I said, I was going to get my daughter. I heard this girl had got into some prostitution after I had fired her. And I didn't know what they were going to do with my daughter or to my daughter. And I'm going to get my daughter. So the judge says, well, and I was crying. And I said, I was good to this girl, this young lady. And I said, Judge, my daughter came home 4 days later. She looked starved. And it was a horrible feeling. And he said, so because you took the plea, I have to sentence you. He says, but you should have took this to trial because no jury in the world would have convicted you for going to get your daughter. Because the girl and I got into a huge fight. She hit me in the back of the head. And after that, I blanked out. We don't even want to discuss what happened. Let's just say she don't even live in the state of Arizona no more. But I was going to protect my daughter. And the judge told me out his own mouth, I can't say that I would have done anything different because I am a father of my daughter. And I will tell you that you should have gone to trial, but since you didn't, this is what I'm gonna do. The prosecutor wants to see you go to jail, but I'm not doing that. You've done well in your community. Like I had character letters and everything. He was like, this is silly. He says, what we're gonna do, we're gonna give you 2 years of probation, 40 hours of community service. But as soon as you complete the community service, you can get off probation, Miss Walker, and go live your life. And that's what I did. But it came with a lot of like not being able to get a good job, not being able to get a place. Nobody told me that. Yes, it's a misdemeanor, but it's aggravated assault. So I lived with that for 7 years on my record. 7 years on my record. And oh my God, it was horrible. It was horrible. Like working at car washes and just trying to make ends meet. But I did not give up. After that, I'm like, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep moving forward. But that woke me up. That whole trying to end my life, that was another eye-opening thing for me. Like, you can't even mess this up, sweetheart. Stay grounded. And so, yeah, I think about that when I get tired. I think about that moment in my life that don't ever try that again because it's not going to work. So you might as well just keep
No,
going.
of course, don't ever try that.
No.
We need you.
Keep going, keep moving forward, stay strong. I did talk to, I went and talked to someone about it after the fact because you have to, you have to talk to somebody about that. But
and even in those
I'm gonna
moments,
get emotion. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna come and after this stream, get in the car and drive over to your house and give you a hug and leave.
You're more than welcome.
I would love to do that. You are. I just
in Arizona.
All right, go ahead, emotion.
Because the suicide rate is so high, especially after COVID, and we're talking about at least when you were in that, you reached out, when you were talking to X on the phone, that was actually you saying, okay, look, this is what's going on. That in itself was a connection. And for anyone that's on this on the live, if you have those feelings, there's a 9 if you have no one to call, there's 988. That is a nationwide suicide hotline, suicide prevention. Get on the phone, call 988, just like you call 911, call 988. And that is what will, because it's very impulsive that when you were going through and you feel, and when you're in that place, it's like, it's a lonely place, but know that you have support. I really thank you so much for sharing that, Nakia.
It was very beautiful.
It's a very lonely, dark place. It's a dark, like I have revisited that place in my moment many of days, and it is now motivation for me, but it brings me to tears when I just think about like how, like I remember sitting there saying like, today is going to be the day. I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm tired of struggling. I'm tired, like, God, like, how did I deserve this? Like, I was protecting my daughter. Now my life is upside down. What am I going to do? And I was just like having my own pity party, walking through the house, trying to pray, trying to do all these things. Nothing was working. And I just remember saying, I'm going to do it. I believe if I get drunk enough, I will have courage to do it. I just need to get drunk. Just keep drinking. And that's what drove me to it. But again, it wasn't time. It wasn't time. And so I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I get to see the other side of things, that I was able to stay alive to ride that out. That is now off my record. I have a clean record. Yay. Great job. I'm doing well. Getting promoted. My place is opening. My kids are doing well. I have a grandson who's 4 years old. Today was his first year of soccer. And so being alive to see all these moments, it's like, wow, like, thank you. Like, my gratitude is so strong. It's so strong. Yeah.
Wow. And talking about gratitude, I love you. You're great. I was telling everyone, wait till you get to know her. Just meet her. She's a beautiful sister. You keep a smile on your face. You motivate the ones who are in that dark place. By the way, Max and all my beautiful mods, I love you. Could you drop that 988 number? I know Max could do everything, and so can Tony and Tahuti and Gemini. You name one of them, you gotta name them all. So if I miss some of y'all, I'm sorry. But drop the number to the suicide intervention hotline. Also, make sure we share all of Nakia's links. We have I saw my awesome mods. They're sharing your Instagram. They shared the links for your books. I'm pretty sure they did that. What else do we need to keep in touch with the great? I want to nickname you Every Woman, Nakia Walker. Anything else? Any other ways for them to, like, any contact information?
Instagram is the easiest way, because if you click the link on my Instagram, you'll find me wherever I'm at. So my life is an open book. So I'm very transparent. I'm very open. It's easy to find me. Easy to find me. Click that link on Instagram, and you'll know where I'm at to the very second. Like, I'm
beautiful. Before we're almost wrapping up, but I want to say I can't let you go until we got to go see the Woman King together. But have you? What do you think about the controversy? I know you haven't seen it, so let's make a date to go see it. What do you think about the controversy, though? What have you heard?
No, I love it. I love it. I love I watched Viola Davis, and she was just talking about the Black woman, the strength, and the things that we do. So I'm looking forward to being a part of this controversy. I want to talk about it.
We gotta go see that.
Yes,
I said I want to come give you a hug tonight. It might be a little late, so I'm gonna go. We're gonna make a date. Let's see the Woman King together, and we can cry. Come on, I'm not kidding. When I was there by myself, I went to see it. I wish that I could be there with other sisters.
Yes.
Especially, I wanted my daughter to be there with me. I'm gonna go ahead around the panel and let everybody close out and say their, not good real goodbyes, but for this stream, goodbyes to you, Nakia.
Yeah.
Until we meet again. I'll start with Freedom. Go ahead, Freedom.
Well, this was a really good experience for me. I love speaking with you. It opened my mind and my eyes up to a lot of things I may even forgot. But it was really good speaking with you, and I'm glad we're entertainers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. And I wanted to say, when you were talking about the son, we are funny about them boys, aren't we?
Yes, we are
funny about those boys. We want them to be darn near princesses.
I know. We are. Our boys are something else. Yeah.
Yes, I love my son. Yeah. But okay, because that's my heart.
Very nice to meet you, Miss
It's my heart. I have 5 granddaughters.
Ooh.
Daughters. Only he's one boy, so
Wow.
But
that's awesome.
This was a good experience. Thank you, Nepal, again. And it's so good seeing Nathali and the rest of the sisters and Motion and Dulcinea. I always get your name wrong, but you're my sister.
Pretty Dulcinea. I love that.
Yes, we love you, Robin. Yes. Robin is our firecracker. Last weekend, we talked about the Woman King. You should have been here, Nakia. Robin had some stuff to say on our post show, so we might trigger a post show. We'll see. But anyway, I'll move on to Dulcinea. Go ahead and close out. Did you finish your drink, Robin? I just want to ask you.
Yes, I'm finishing in the little woozy feeling. Okay.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Dulcinea.
Well, yes, and I did want to ask one more question to you before we go. I actually went to school for creative writing. I know it gets kind of tough. Sometimes you feel like people are not going to care about what you have to say or anything like that. Can you just give us a little wisdom on how you get over those writing blocks or anything like that when it comes to that?
Yes, great question. So getting over writing blocks. So one of the silly things that I do is I write the alphabet at the top of the page whenever I'm writing, because I feel like it increases my vocabulary. Like it makes it very extensive for me to see the alphabet and the word will come in my head. The other thing is I open up dictionary.com because I'm looking for synonyms and antonyms to use if I feel like I'm being repetitive. And one of the things I used to teach my students is write with the 5 senses in mind. Write when you want people to taste it. You want them to feel it. If you're talking about food, you should get hungry if I'm writing about food. If I'm talking about matters of the heart, you should feel it. So if I'm telling you it's hot outside and I'm writing about it, you should be like, ooh, like everything should be about the 5 senses when you're writing. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure getting to talk to you. And yeah, everyone, I'm Dulcinea. And yes, you probably can reach me easiest like on Facebook or Instagram. But anytime, you guys just reach out. And it's been
a pleasure to follow everybody. I love this. This is great. Yeah.
Yes, I'm not joking, Nakia. I might have to bring you in to join the panel.
I'm down.
We do this every Saturday
for
2 hours. And I know you're busy, but you're awesome. I love your energy. But anyway, let me get back to the ladies. Let me into the ladies in motion. Go ahead and close out and, say your until next times to our sister Nakia.
You know what? This has been such a pleasure. I mean, you were such a queen. You're so amazing. Just, everything that you have been able, just with the stroke and, that's just a part of your life. That's what's so amazing. That's just a part of such a beautiful, amazing, fabulous, and you have so much more to come. Looking forward to all your work that you're going to be doing in the community there in Arizona. Yes. And I'm just grateful.
Wow. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm hoping that my work will become global. I have this thing where I don't need to be rich and famous. I'm not, yes, I like living a good life, but I don't have to be rich and famous. I just want to be great. You know, I want to be massive in such a way that I have impacted people's lives. I've done great things. And, you know, I won't be able to please everyone. Everyone won't like the Nakia Walker way or what I have to say or what I do or how I do it. But if I can change one life, if I can make a difference in one life, that's what matters to me. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Beautiful. And last but definitely not least, Sister Naftali, go ahead and say bid your adieu until next time, and let us know where we can find you on social media.
Of course, I do apologize if you guys hear my dog. He just won't stop it. But I thank you so much, Nepal, for allowing me to come on again. You sisters, Freedom, all of you, Nakia, it was amazing hearing your story. I mean, it's like a page turner. And I know you have a book, but you got to do an autobiography, because I mean, even just hearing your life, you know, the ups and downs, but I just love your positivity. I love your strength. I love how you you still are so happy, and I can feel that spirit about you. So I wish I was in Arizona. That is a beautiful place. I mean,
Yes, you need to come here. Stop playing, Naftali.
Oh my gosh. When I went to the Grand Canyon with my kids, I was like, I love it here. It's just so
It's beautiful. Yeah.
It really is. So I wish I was there. I wish I was there with you guys. We can go hang out. But
that would be nice to go see the Woman King.
Where are you?
Oh, I'm in St. Louis. Oh my God, and it's horrible. But everything you heard about it is true. Like
I've been there. I've been there a couple times.
Okay, well, I have to get out of St. Louis. I am like, that's my plan. You know, our plan is to leave. But
well, you need to come to Arizona. I'm not joking. Before the rent goes and the mortgage goes, it's going. Yeah, it's coming down again, isn't it? It's coming down, right? Yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry.
So, no, you're fine. You're fine. So I am just so happy that, you know, you're starting your business and you haven't given up and you're continuing on. I just love that about the perseverance of it all. But I'm on Facebook, guys, of Naftali Israel, and I'm on Instagram, Naftali Hoda, and you know I'm on YouTube. I have my own channel, Naftali ADUIC, so you can check me out. And shalom and most high bless to all.
I love it.
All right, shalom, and don't worry about the dog and the kids in the background. We know you have a life.
Don't. I love it.
All right, so now for me, I am so thrilled, ready to get to work with you. This is just one meeting, I hope, of thousands of meetings in the future. Now, I'm gonna put the hug on hold tonight, but I do definitely want to talk to you after the show.
Okay.
We got to meet up. I want to get ready with the whole media. I want to promote it with the office. I want to keep on building with you, the lady and the community, the audience. I know they love you. I know they love you. So I'm going to hand it over to you and let you have the last word. But I just want to say from the bottom of my heart to you, your family, your loved ones, and everyone that everyone's lives that you touch. It's a real pleasure to have you still here with us. Yeah. And I hope for 100 more years. Okay, so Nakia, go ahead and close out. Give us some of that Gemini energy. You know, I got to claim some of it.
Yeah. Some
all right, go ahead.
You know, in closing, I just like to invite everyone to have personal peace. And in order to do that, again, self-love is very important. Understanding who you are, catering to who you truly are, believing in yourself, and working to manifest the things that you need for you in your life, and introducing others in your life that can bring you that peace. It is a very, very awesome place to be in. It is very rewarding, and I am so grateful to have peace in my life. And it comes with having to say no more. It comes with having to not care about certain things anymore and not being afraid to walk away from certain people and situations. But you have to get to a space where you have enough love for yourself, to care for yourself, to protect your energy and your health, you know, and your mindset is so very important. So I leave you with that. Just do ensure that you are protecting your peace. It's very important. You'll get far. You'll get a lot accomplished.
And with that said, thank you so much. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. My sister Naftali says shalom, shalom, hotep, namaste, jumbo. Anybody else? Are there any other greetings
all
that I can
bring them all? Bring them all, because some days
greetings,
all of them, honey. I'm gonna tell you
of love and light to the darkest minds of the light, thank you for tuning in for another Sip Down. We will see you next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm calling this Outstanding October. So all of our guests are outstanding, but this month I want to really keep the trend of bringing on just extraordinary people who faced adversity, got to their lowest of low, but look at the shining being that we have. They still shine and elevate. So peace, and I'm closing out the stream now. Peace to the audience. Thank you to the mods, and we will see you next time. All right, shalom. Okay.